he got out of prison, G, instantly. He got out of jail for bonded out. And then started a podcast. And then I'm guessing he got caught up for some PPP loans to LG. Hey, if this the case, bro, people been tweaking, G. Y'all. He had whole was talking to, like, you feel me, high informative people, like you did, like, about investing, all type of stuff, G. Like, how you go back, G, or like what type of scheme do he got planned, G? It ain't no way.
Well, to the late night special. I'm your host, Jonathan Duberton, aka Finesse, and call me anything, anything. Please don't call me broke.
Listen, they hate the question. What you gonna bring to the table? They hate that question.
Why they hate that question?
I don't know why. Because
they ain't got nothing.
It's such a hard answer for them to answer. Like, what you mean?
Right.
Because all they got, I mean, not all of them, but it's the pretty face, and that's where most of them stop at.
And they get mad when you say you the prize. Now we got to be sus.
Now we got to be
zesty,
feminine. You know what I'm
we zesty because I work out too. I got money. I look good too.
You talking about? Than he ever been. Not saying that everybody dad was a failure. Even if your dad was successful, that's your competition. I need to be better than that man.
And then go back. Like, what you talk about?
I done finessed the world to think that I'm rich as fuck.
Fam, imagine going to federal prison for fraud, sitting in that cell, and instead of planning your next legal move, you planning your next brand. A podcast, a platform, a whole new image. You come home, build a name. People respect the grind. People think you beat the system. And now, you're the one giving game to others. But behind that image, the feds say the hustle never stopped. Because in 2026, people are still getting arrested over PPP loans, COVID relief money, and government fraud schemes that happened years ago. And this time, it wasn't just a random scammer. It was a well-known podcaster from Atlanta. And according to federal prosecutors, millions of dollars were involved. Multiple co-defendants were tied in. At the same man who once served time for fraud found himself right back in federal court. Same government, same paperwork, same prison system, a different year. Today we're gonna break down.
So y'all mean to tell me people still getting, bro, the PPP loans ain't never that serious, G. It's to the point where you could have just been focusing on yourself after high school and instantly got you good, and you ain't would have had to even get nobody on social for no PPP. People be tweaking, G.
Years, how prison helped create his platform, what happened in his first federal case, and what the feds say happened in his new indictment, and why his sentence is sending a message to everybody who thought PPP was free money. Because sometimes the lifestyle people see online is financed by crimes they'll hear about years later in court. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Fine, when it comes to today's sponsor,
hold on. So he went from he got out of prison, G, instantly. He got out of jail for bonded out. And then started a podcast. And then I'm guessing he got caught up for some PPP loans to LG. Hey, if this the case, bro, people been tweaking, G.
The consequences. QR code that's on the screen. Fan, meet Jonathan Duberton. After doing my homework when trying to look up his life story, it seemed like from a very early age, all this man allegedly knew was stealing and fraud. You see, as mentioned, he grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. He went to Riverdale High School. He also attended a 2-year college at Cadone College. Unfortunately, he didn't graduate. He found himself doing fraud from another student's car.
I tried to hoop. Grades was fucked up.
Can you hoop though?
I can hoop.
Okay, he can hoop. I can vouch for you.
Who can vouch for you though?
He can vouch for you. He can vouch.
I can see Ash 100 pounds lighter doing this thing. I can see that. He do his thing out there. He's like Baby Shaq out there.
That's what they call me.
He's you know what I mean?
No, I get buckets though. I played basketball 30 years of my life.
So you tried to hoop, they ain't work out, but you graduated from college or not?
No, I got kicked out of college. No, I didn't get kicked out. I got in trouble in college for doing some illegal shit. Like some dumbass shit too, bro. Like it was a student card on the ground or some shit. I picked it up. I was like, damn, but that's where they deliver the bread at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let me go see if they got some money on this motherfucker. So I go in the bookstore. I asked this one guy, I'm like, yo, bro, you let me swipe for this? He was like, nah. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I went to this next girl. I was like, I'll give you $100. Let me swipe. She was like, all right, bet. I swiped the whole card out. The nigga done snitched on me.
Damn.
I get caught, I get kicked out of school. And at that point, I didn't even know why I was in school. I was just going to school just to satisfy my mom. And when I got kicked out, I was like, man, fuck this shit. Like, what the fuck am I even doing here, bro? I don't plan on working for nobody. Like, it just started to make me think about life a little more.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship mindset from the jump. Like, for real.
Now, Jonathan is also a man who been in and out of jail since the age of 12.
You 12, getting locked up, in and out, slap on the wrist. When did you really start to, like, do some real type of like, oh man, I'm in here for longer than what I thought I was gonna be in here for?
Shit, when I went to the feds.
Wow.
Like all that shit was like play, like juvenile, like, but I understood, you know what I'm saying? I would see niggas locked up at 13, it's called 10 for armed robbery. You know what I'm saying? Robbed a gas station with a BB gun or some dumb shit. Or murdered a nigga or raped a chick. And I was like, damn, niggas, they giving out real time for this shit. And it caught on real quick. Like,
bro, you could, so y'all mean to tell me this man done been in this since he was 12, started a podcast, and went back, G, even if he been doing it all his life, this is what y'all should be able to just know, for that you can do anything and still damn near somehow get up on top. For like, there's no way this man, he think in his head when he come out, he gonna be able to do it again, G. Who knows, G?
I don't want to be one of them niggas. You know what I mean? And I was hearing stories about them young niggas going to prison and getting took.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be one of them. Like, yo, I'm a do some crime, but I ain't gonna do that type of crime.
So it ain't deter you enough to be like, but I'm gonna be. It just made you be a little bit more careful, or how you feel like it was making you move.
It just made, cause like after like 12, 13, that's when like my homies started hitting licks. Like they started kicking in doors and carrying guns and shit like that. Like. It clicked very early, like, yo, you don't need to be carrying guns for what? Like, I don't got no beef with niggas. What I need to be carrying guns for? Like, kicking in doors, like, if I was hitting licks, it was, like, premeditated. You know what I mean? Like, I go in a nigga crib, like, you my friend, I go in his crib, we going together, we playing the games, like, oh, he got all type of shit in here. I'm about to leave a window open, come back the next day. But niggas was kicking doors at 15. I was like, I don't want to be a part of no shit like that. Like, I was a smooth criminal.
Nah, okay.
Now, shout out to Crime Pays official podcast for that interview and those clips. But as you can see, Jonathan was a man who was known to do fraud and breaking your crib as a kid. And that interview was 9 months ago, and at this point, he's known as Finesse. But he didn't know that shortly after, he'd be arrested by the feds again. But before we get to that, he mentioned in that interview he didn't have a wake-up call until his federal sentence. That's because he was arrested by the feds once before the second time. You see, back in 2017, Jonathan and his sister were sentenced for using stolen identities to steal over $395 from the U.S. Department of Agriculture Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. The defendants illegally obtained SNAP benefits for themselves and then cashed them at stores they owned in several Georgia communities. They said the charges and information presented in court is from July 2014 through October 2015. That means they didn't get arrested until 2 years later. Jonathan and Stephanie owned and operated 2 convenience stores in Cobb County. The stores' names was identified as J. Good Groceries and Stephanie's Groceries. The defendants used stolen identities to apply for SNAP benefits instead of accepting SNAP benefits from qualified recipients to purchase food. These SNAP benefits were loaded on EBT cards, which are similar to debit cards. The defendant directed DHS to mail hundreds of EBT cards to addresses they controlled. They then collected and swiped the fraudulent SNAP cards at convenience stores. Over $800,000 in SNAP payments were deposited in defendants' bank accounts. DHS and USDA were able to link $395,000 of those funds to 321 fraudulent SNAP accounts. At that time, Jonathan.
Bro, do y'all know how crazy this sounds, G? People real life out here finessing Link, bro.
Was 28. He was sentenced to 3 years and 9 months in prison. And Stephanie, she was 24 and was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Both defendants were also sentenced to 3 years of supervised release. Now in 2020, Jonathan going to the halfway house. And as you all know, during this time, it's COVID. The world shut down and the government issued PPP. Business owners was able to get Paycheck Protection Program, which allowed them to pay payroll and get other items to try to stay afloat during the pandemic. And we all know Jonathan was just in the feds, so he definitely didn't have a business. But he used this time to come home and apply for PPP loans. And apparently he had social security numbers from his EBT schemes, and he did just that when it came to PPP. You see, according to Jonathan's indictment, from around July 2020 to April 2021, during the height of COVID relief programs, prosecutors say Jonathan, alongside 3 other individuals, ran a large fraud operation involving California.
He was talking to, like, you feel me, high informative people, like, you did, like, about investing, all type of stuff, G, like, how you go back, G, or, like, what type of scheme do he got planned, G? It ain't no way.
DD unemployment benefits. Instead of legitimate unemployed workers getting benefits, they allegedly used stolen names, stolen dates of birth, stolen social security numbers, fake unemployment claims, fake mailing addresses in Georgia, VPNs to hide where claims were submitted from. Most of the time, people had no idea their information was being used. According to this indictment, the scheme worked by step 1, steal identities. They allegedly got personal information from unwitting victims, names, birthdays, social security numbers. This info was used to apply for unemployment benefits in California. You see, the real reason people was using benefits in California was because they was one of the easiest and biggest targets during COVID unemployment fraud. That's why so many fraud cases involving people living in Georgia, Florida, Texas, or Atlanta still trace back to California EDD. They had higher payments and the verification was weaker.
Been swiping for EDD. Go to the bank, get a stack at least. This shit here better than selling peas. I made some rat.
So when it came to Jonathan and his crew, step 2, the feds say they had filed fake unemployment claims. They used VPNs to hide the real IP addresses and make it harder to trace where applications came from. They said step 3, they changed the mailing addresses to Georgia. Once approved, they allegedly updated the account so the debit cards would be mailed to addresses in Metro Atlanta. This is key. The money was California unemployment money, but the cards were being shipped to Georgia. They say once the debit cards arrived, prosecutors say they use ATMs to withdraw the money. The indictment specifically lists withdrawals like 1,000 and 200 repeated ATM withdrawals. That's what triggered the wire fraud counts. How much money? Well, the feds say they had over 300 debit cards mailed, about 3 million transferred. The indictment says CAEDD was duped into mailing over 300 debit cards and transferring approximately $3 million. Feds say they stole millions using dead people's and victims' identity during COVID. Not to mention, one of the co-defendants, Kadar Williams, allegedly filed fraud claims for himself too. And the feds say during that time, Jonathan would use his illegal funds to start his podcast, Rich and Unemployed. The irony.
Like, G.
Welcome to the late night special. I'm your host, Jonathan Dubuton, aka Finesse. And call me anything. Anything. Please don't call me broke. Also known as rich, because hey, that's just me. That's just how I am. That's just who I am. That's just destiny.
That's crazy, G. I ain't watching him
just
forever,
destiny.
and this how he coming now, G.
But Happy New Year, man, to say the least. Y'all been rocking with me for a minute, and I believe this is my 3rd New Year on Late Night Special. And damn, we done came too far. We done came way too far. A new year is new comings, new, fresh. If we look at the world, like during this time, it's winter time, it's fall time, everything is dead. There's nothing growing. But in the springtime, that's when everything blossoms. That's when everything in the world just come alive again.
Telling y'all the truth,
That's
boy.
really the new year. You know what I mean? But I don't know who designed this shit. I don't know who put this in effect where they just made the new year in January. But hey, whatever. We here. I don't want to bust y'all bubble, but we here. God damn it. I done finessed the world to think that I'm rich as fuck. Like, let me explain, because like people, it's hard to believe when I tell people that I'm broke. Hey, I ain't got it right now, bro. Damn, bro, like my bank account low. Like, motherfuckers don't believe it. Motherfuckers call me like, hey man, bro, this is my rich partner. Not knowing, but I'm fucked up right now. But it's all about perception. It's all about, you know, how you carry yourself when in these times. You know what I mean? Like I never walk like I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? I never act like I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'ma always act like I'm eating. You know what I mean? You'll never see me fucked up, starving, dirty. You know what I mean? You'll never see that. They don't have to see that from you. They don't gotta know when you fucked up. They ain't gotta know when you broke. They ain't gotta know when you sad. They ain't gotta know that. We ain't gotta show the world that. Or shit, be vulnerable and tell the world, man, I'm fucked up, I'm broke. I can say that, but people still don't believe me. My broke is a different broke. I get it. My broke would be, shit, I'm down to my last 20, 30,000, 40,000. Shit, when I'm at 50, I feel broke. When I get down to like 20, I'm just panicking. You know what I mean? Because like, bro, at any given time, I could be at zero. And I cannot be at zero. I can't not be at a negative. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gotta get out of that debt, G. It's levels. In the debt.
Than he ever been. Not saying that everybody dad was a failure. Even if your dad was successful, that's your competition. I need to be better than that man. Just look at you. You want your son to outdo you. You want your son to outgrow you, to become way more successful, to do the things that you couldn't do. You need to outdo your daddy. Do what he couldn't do. He couldn't build a family right. You do it. You know what I mean? Your dad couldn't get rich. He couldn't get wealthy. He couldn't build for the family. You do it.
Fam, that was one of his last episodes. Now he using AI. But in that physical appearance he wrote in the title, did he know the feds was coming? Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. But what we do know is all he knew was fraud. But there you have it, fam. To think you come home from the feds for fraud and still do PPP unemployment fraud. It's crazy. And that's really the part people forget. The pandemic may be over, but the federal investigations never stop. A lot of people thought PPP, unemployment fraud, and those COVID reliefs were quick money. Something that never happened during chaos that would just disappear with time. But the government don't forget where their money went. Sometimes it take 2 years, sometimes 4, sometimes even longer. But eventually, if that paperwork lead back to you, those handcuffs catch up. And in this case, prosecutors say over 300 debit cards, stolen identities, fake unemployment claims, and nearly $3 million all led back to a small circle of names and a few Atlanta addresses. The same image people build online, the flashy lifestyle, the success story, the I figured it out narrative, sometimes be funded by something completely different behind the scenes. And when the truth hits federal court, the internet can't save you. Because within the last 24 hours of me making this video, Jonathan was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Be a long time before he come back home. And I could be corrected, but I believe it's at least 85% of your time in the feds. But fam, it's time to let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. Was this just people taking advantage of a broken system? Or was this always federal time waiting to happen? Comment below.
Gee, so basically, the man's just got 7 years because they still investigating everything, G. When we gonna realize that we can't cheat the system, folks? We gotta realize, we gotta do it right, folks, so don't nothing come back to us, G. We gotta do it right, folks, man. YouTube, don't forget to like, go ahead and check out some more content on the channel, G. We gonna be posting a lot more